Hello, beautiful and embodied souls. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and I am the Somatic Sorceress. What does it mean to live a magical life? I have been asking myself this question for many years, and I recently came across a video by Natural Witchery. I'll leave the link down in the description. So that you can go and check out her video that really hit me in the heart, given collective and personal things that I'm feeling into. The questions that were posed within that video and that I myself have been grappling with are profound questions, deeply meaningful questions. So I decided to do a unasked for video response. I have put together some notes and you know just some sort of like talking points for myself. So if you see me looking over here, it's because I put I put my notes yonder. The first thing that I want to say about posing this question is I am not an expert. I'm just a human being trying to figure out what's going on with other human beings, plants, animals, spirits, etc. My attempt, I attempt to be very humble when it comes to spirituality, in part because of my own background being an upbringing, being raised in the Catholic Church, where things were metaphysical questions, spiritual questions were answered as if the answers were facts. And that's not how I see any of this. Within my own personality and within my own experience, we don't know. There's so many things that we don't know. And that's very much how I approach my own spirituality, my own magical practice. I don't know what's going on. I reserve the right to change my mind and evolve as a person, given new information, new experiences, and new thought processes within myself. So this question does come back to, how do we define magic? That's a very personal question and a personal thing. I'm not here to tell people what magic is or like what it isn't. I'm here to be wondering with other folks. I'm also here to define it for myself, and in sharing it in a more public forum, maybe help other people along the journey, challenge myself, grow with others. I'm not going to put forward my own personal definition of magic. What I will say, though, is that for me, living a magical life is very much about deepening my connections. This means my connections with other humans. It also means my connection with plants, animals, the land on which I live, and the myriad of spirits that exist in all manner of places, forms, etc. I consider myself a chaos-ish magical practitioner there are some aspects of that paradigm that really resonate with me and others that do not. One of the aspects that does not resonate with me so much is the antinomian aspects, the emphasis on the individual. While I have grown up in a very individualistic culture, I live in the United States of America, I've been steeped in that fierce, rugged individualism, which, permeates, how I orient. And yet I see the value more and more in understanding connections to others, the dynamic that exists between beings, and not centering the human experience in my thinking and thought process about magic. Even though I am a human, right, making space for what other beings I interact with tell me about what's going on here, and having a very relational interaction together, so that antinomianism of chaos magic may not necessarily resonate with me. So again, I think living a magic life for me means being very attuned to those relationships and how they can get sticky, challenging, and bring us to our knees for deep growth. Deep growth. And that leads me to my next criterion for what it means to live a magical life for me. I would say investigating my impact is a really big part of my magical practice. Here, I mean, yes, like trying to, walk the talk the walk, both and. In terms of, just trying my best not to contribute to some of the world's problems. I mean, can I be perfect at that? No, I cannot. I know that through my actions and my existence, I cause harm. I just do. I'm not perfect. Here we are, right? And yet I want to examine that. I want to try and do my best. This brings me to inner work. As a therapist, I am super committed to understanding myself, doing the deep self-reflection around this idea of impact, and really trying to own the feelings, beliefs, psychological processes that contribute to my behavior and those relational dynamics that I spoke about earlier. So for me, this inner work is a huge part of my magical practice. And I would extend that to spiritual practices in general. When people set on a spiritual path, to me, that means a commitment to exactly this. And it can look different for different people, but I think we all know someone or several people who don't seem to be doing this inner work and end up in a lot of better than thou, like orientations. And it's hard to be around people who orient to you like that. And I know that I can sometimes do that. So again, right, to be on this path, to live a magical life, I feel you need to be doing some kind of inner work. It doesn't have to be therapy, but some kind of psychological investigation to own your own This ties in again to understanding the difference between resourcing myself with my magical practice and spiritual bypassing. Natural Witchery spoke so eloquently on this point. When are we using magic to wish away our suffering, get what we want, that kind of stuff? Bypassing to me is when we feel overwhelmed, or when I feel overwhelmed. I'll speak for myself. I tend to spiritually bypass when I feel completely overwhelmed, when I feel my locus of control has been shattered. I'm feeling a lot of that actually right now, given the collective weather. So I go to thoughts and feelings along the lines of, oh, this doesn't, this lifetime doesn't matter. There'll be a next lifetime. Oh, you're doing your spiritual work, so if things get really, really bad, you're going to be okay. I mean, other people won't be okay, but you're going to be okay. This bypassing, again, I have a lot of compassion for myself and a lot of compassion for other people when engaging in it, because again, I think it's coming from a place of being really overwhelmed. So the question I've been asking myself is, how can living a magical life actually resource me to stay engaged in political action, stay engaged in my community, stay engaged in all of those relationships I mentioned earlier? I have been failing at this, if I'm being completely honest. There's so much grief, there's so much collective angst and fear and dread and despair, and like I'm swimming in it right now. So I've really come back to my magical practice to ask myself, like, where are you bypassing, and how can you turn that back around to resourcing in order to fight the good fight? To me, resourcing magically means connecting with my vitality. It means, connecting with my guides, getting the support from these connections that I've mentioned several times, right? Getting the juice and the nourishment and the energy to keep doing some of the things that I am doing, and face into, what I have not done or what I have failed at because of some of my own limitations and shortcomings as a person, to rectify and repair. Finally, living a magical life for me means investing in my creativity. Yes, that means some of the typical creative endeavors, writing, making art, dance. Those are my go-to creative outlets. I love creating poems and writing essays. I have a personal project that I'm developing that brings my love of writing together with my love of making art, as well as referencing my love of dance. I'm super excited about it. It's been really helping me navigate against some of the difficulties that I've been experiencing personally and collectively. So yes, stereotypical creativity falls into this category. Another form of creativity is seeing magic in uncommon and mundane places. I'll give you an example. I was driving down the highway the other day, thinking to myself, wow, humans have really botched this planet, and our lack of imagination is everywhere. I was looking at concrete walls, exit signs, and just seeing the world that we've created. I felt a lot of disillusionment, despair, and disappointment in the human project. I was thinking to myself, humans can do better. We can do better than creating this ugliness around us, this pollution around us, you know? But then I thought to myself, okay, maybe some of this is true, and yet you're the one seeing it, Kim. You're the one looking at the highway. You're the one thinking these thoughts. Can you put on your poetic glasses and see the world more magically? I challenged myself in that moment. I looked at the highway again and realized it was a river of human hopes and dreams. It was a river of human activity. It was a river of delivering people into their fate patterns. Whoa. You know, it's such a different orientation to something that many of us find quite ugly. So that's what I mean, applying my creativity to seeing magic in so many different spaces, places, mundane activities. I want to conclude this video by asking, why does this matter right now? My magical practice gives me so much personal meaning. The relational aspect of my magic has brought a sense of deep connection, a sense of awe, a sense of profound gratitude. My magical practice also, again, like resources me, you know, when I can confront some of my own bypassing activities and thought processes and come back to using my magic to resource myself, I'm able to keep showing up in order to help myself and others with fear, grief, like all of those really difficult emotions that come with the human experience. My magical practice gives me what I need to remain in connection. Can that fall down? Of course it can. It recently has. And I have a lot of reverence for all of the things that I do that are magically oriented to eventually fill me back up again, restore my abilities to be in difficult conversations with myself and others, as well as like have fun and play together and rejoice together when that is called for. Living a magical life does all of these things. In talking about this with all of you, I hope to inspire, and please let me know, you know, some of the questions around a magical life that you have been contending with. I would love to compare notes on that. I would also love to speak about bypassing and how we can avoid that and come into more magical resourcing instead. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you are well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.